Okay, hi. This quick video is about file transfer using Packet and BPSK, which is given in the GNU Radio wiki site. So here they are using this particular 0MQ subsource and 0MQ sync subsource and 0MC pub sync, which are not available in the current GNU radio version. So these are deprecated. So because of that, it is very difficult to work with these examples. So I have figured out a way of using TCP source and TCP sync instead of ZMQ subsource and ZMQ pub sync. However, I was still unable to achieve the over-the-air transmission, but I managed to do the transmission through the network, like the physical network. So I will just demonstrate how I did that. So here I'm using two Raspberry Pis. So I'm being logged into these two Raspberry Pis through the VNC viewer. So here, this is my first Raspberry Pi, PySDR1. And this is my second Raspberry Pi, which is the PySDR2. So here, the task is to read a file from this PySDR1, read a file through the packet transmitter and packetize the file. So the file is grlogo.png. I will just put a random file there under that name. And then that will be sent through the localhost port 49201, and which will be sent to this virtual channel I have created, which will be receiving again through 49201 through a TCP socket. And this is just a virtual channel, and then it will be transmitting to the other PySDR in the network, which is with the IP 192.168.0.23 through packet 49203. And in that Raspberry Pi, so I have set this the channel loop, and the channel I have set to again receiving through 192.168.0.23 port 49203. And so this is just a virtual channel. You just have to forget about this. And then I'm putting this through to the receiver program or receiver Python program through the local host port 49201. And in the receiver program, so it is taken through 49201 localhost and saving it as output.tmp, and there's a separate Python file to decode this into the format of PNG. So we will go through that in a second. Right, so now I'll be going back to my transmitter. So in the transmitter, so if I move on to the folder which contains these files. Okay, so I'm finding it difficult to navigate through this. Okay, so this is the grlogo.png file, but I am willing to change this file from here because so someone might think that I'm like planting this. So I will just get a downloaded file. So I already have downloaded the file. Just let me go to the downloads folder. Yeah, so in the downloads folder, there's this Linux logo I have downloaded. Let me try to open this and see. This is quite slow, this Raspberry Pi. I don't know why it is slow. Anyway, so yeah, so this is the Linux image, Linux logo. So I will copy this Linux logo into the folder where I have the transmitter and the channel. See, okay, so the Linux logo is here. So I'm going to change the name. So I'll just change this one's name as old and change Linux logo's name into gr logo, gr logo.png, right? Okay. Now I will go into so that is the transmitter side. So in fact, we have to start the program from the receiver side, because the receiver side will be looking for sockets, right? Socket connections. So I will be going into the receiver, and I will first run the receiver program. So in the receivers, I have this Python 3 packet receiver programs. And when I run that, it will be waiting for the connection at port 49201. So that is from the local host. And then I will go to the other one, and I will try to start the channel. I haven't closed this before. Okay, sorry. So let me try to open up a terminal here. And from there, I will try to run the channel. So then the channel will be waiting for a transmission at port 49203. So if we move back to our previous terminal, yeah, so it is looking for a packet from 49201. So those are still not open because there's nothing being received, right? So here this one is, sorry, this Zoom is killing me. Okay, so yeah, so this one is waiting at 49203. That is waiting from the other Raspberry Pi. So I will go to the other Raspberry Pi, and there I will try to open the channel first. So in the channel, oh, this is also not closed before. So I'll be closing that, and I'll start the channel again to open terminal. Terminal is opened, and I will run the channel. So this channel will look back as the channel. So it will be looking at port 49201 for its own transmission. So I will start its own transmission from my transmitter folder. So transmitter folder is here. Let me open up this. Yeah, so that is packet XMT is the transmitter. So when I turn the transmitter on, this will transmit that particular image that we have downloaded into the other Raspberry Pi. So if we just move on to the other Raspberry Pi, just to be clear, right? So in the receiver folder, receivers, in this receiver folder, there's an output.png, but this output.png is a different image, right? So I'm going to overwrite it now. So I will try to keep these two Raspberry Pis side by side. Otherwise, you won't see this clearly. But I don't know how clear this is, but I'm trying to show how this works just as an example, but I will move on to details in a later video. So, right. So this is the transmitter side on the left side. The receiver side is on the right side. So if I start transmitting from the transmitter, right, now it is transmitting. Now this is receiving at the receiver side. So transmission is finished, it seems, end of file. So if I move on to the receivers, and there should be a new output.png file. No, sorry, output.temp file. Yeah, so there's output.temp file. I have to decode it to be the output.png. See, even if you look at now, still it's the old output.png file. Now I will decode this. There's a separate decoding program given by the GNU radio. So I will move on to my terminal and decode this received file. So I have to juggle a bit with the taskbars appearing from Zoom. So I go to the receiver. No, sorry, I will go to the terminal. Right, in terminal, the receiver terminal. First, I will have to close down the receiver. The receiver is still on. So I will close it down and go back to the receiver, open up a terminal. And I decode this. That's the decode program. Okay, let me just copy it from the site. Yeah, so they have given the decode program. That is this one, strip preamble. I will just copy it from there, take it to my receiver. Oh, you can't copy it here. I can open up a different terminal and get here. That will be easier. CD documents, RF. Test to file transmission, GNU, GR control, receivers. Right now I will paste this code here. So it will be now output.temp will be converted to output.png. Hopefully this has worked. Now if we go to the receiver folder, now there's a new file here as output.png because that previous file was very small. If I open it, yeah, now it's here. Right, so we have transmitted this file from this particular Raspberry Pi to the second Raspberry Pi through the transmitters and receiver. I have run through Python. So those are created through this GNU radio application, right? Okay, so what I figured out in this one is to replace the 0MQ source and the 0MQ sink with TCP source and TCP sink. So still this is working to transmit through the local network. However, this is still not working through the over the air with Hackari. So that is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so thank you very much. So I will see you in another video once I figure this one out. Thank you.